There's only so many FaceTime calls I can do. There's only so many Snapchat texts I can do. There's only so many Zoom calls I can do. There's only so many times I want to go on a house party.
Yo. Man, I'm glad y'all ain't got to get that cheese, man, I think.
So hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, what is up? It's your girl Nicole, aka Lil NCK, and I am back with another video. In today's video, we are going to be doing part 2 to the, just making sure my phone's off silent, because you know my phone's always buzzing. We're going to be doing a part 2 to the 5 things I learned since going to university. Now that I'm back at home, so many things have changed, so many things have happened. I've learned so many things. I'm still learning different things. But yeah, I wanted to do a part 2 to this video, so that's what this video is about. If you guys are interested in 5 other things that I've learned since going to uni and coming back home from uni, then continue to watch. But before we do that, make sure you like, comment, share and subscribe and click that notification bell, so every time I upload a video you guys will be notified. Make sure you follow me on my social media as well, because you might as well, if you're gonna follow me over here, you might as well follow me over there, okay? So make sure you follow me on my social media so that you can keep up to date with me every time I post. And yeah, leave any video requests, any comments, or just anything in general down below, and I'll be sure to answer you guys. Yeah, let's just get right into the video. I'm gonna link part 1 to this video up here, or up here, whichever one. So it'll be linked up here, part 1 to this video, okay? Period. There was a lot of things I was not prepared for, and one of the things that I've realized, or that I wasn't really prepared for coming home, is the fact that applying for a job takes a long time. Listen, I did not think by any means that, you know, I'm gonna graduate today and I'm gonna get a job within a month, because I know realistically in a creative industry, in a media based field, that's not the case. It takes a lot longer than that. I know if you work in like business or like real estate, or if you're a nurse or a pharmacist or something, I'm pretty sure, I'm not saying this 100% because I didn't do that course, you know what I'm saying, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't take as long to get a job because it's more academic. Correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you guys do that, correct me down below, because I don't want to give false information, you know what I'm saying. But for those of us who are in the creative industry, so you're an entertainer, you're a comedian, you want to be a presenter like myself, okay, you want to be the new Frida Kahlo or Picasso or whatever it is you want to do, it takes a lot of time to get a job, because when you go to uni, yeah, everybody's talking about this fantastic degree, all these amazing things you're going to have with this degree, you know, the fun things you're going to be able to do, the jobs you're going to be able to get. I mean, they barely talk about the jobs you get. They mostly focus on selling the course to you. They mostly focus on selling the idea of you studying this subject, okay? That's what most of them are focusing their efforts on. Finessing your mind into thinking that this is the course you need to study. That's what they do. That's what they do. I'm telling you, that is what they do. But they don't really prepare you for life outside of uni, in the sense of what it's like to look for a job in a creative industry, or how long it takes to get a job in a creative industry, what type of places you should be applying for in the creative industry. Like, they don't really give you that. I don't know, I don't want to say every uni is the same, but I know my university wasn't like that. I mean, obviously COVID is really here, so I've got to take that into consideration as well, but you'd think that they'd be a bit more on job with helping you find a job, because I want to start my career. Applying for a job is not easy. It's a job in itself. You basically have to work 9 to 5 hours. You have to do 9 to 5 hours. I didn't understand that before. Like, I used to apply for jobs at like 3 p.m. and then I'd be wondering why I didn't get the job. But guys, you have to apply for these jobs early, you know. I'm not even joking. You actually have to apply for these jobs early, because people don't usually have lunch until like between 1 to 3. People usually go and have their lunch, right? So if you're applying for a job at 3 and knowing they've just come off their lunch break, they're not looking for your email. I'm not gonna lie to you, they're not checking for your email, because they're focused on the task they had to do before they went to lunch. And then if you're applying for a job at like 6 in the evening, 7 in the evening, whatever, don't be expecting that your job application is going to be on the top of their email list, because guess what, while we're sleeping, they're probably getting so much junk spam mail come through their emails that if your email was at the top at 6 p.m, it's now going to get pushed to the bottom because of all the other emails that are on top. So yeah, you really have to apply for it like it's a 9 to 5. Like, if you want to grab that employee's attention, you've got to do that. It took me a while to realize this, because I've only ever had the same job for a long time. So for me, applying for a new job, I'm not a pro at this, because I've only ever had like one proper job. I've had jobs, but I've only ever had one job that I've stayed with for like 3 years straight, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it took a while for me to practice this, and put this into the motion, you know what I'm saying? But I'm telling you, getting a job is not easy. So when you leave uni and you're discouraged that you're unemployed for 6 months, please don't think about it too much. Just keep applying for jobs, keep pushing yourself, keep pushing, because we've all been there, we've all done it, we've all gone through it, and in Jesus' name you will get a job. Just keep being persistent and nothing's going to get in your way, okay? The next thing that I have learned coming back from uni is that it's so hard to maintain relationships. I feel like it's really difficult to maintain relationships. I kind of spoke about friendships in the last one, but I spoke about it in more of a like a negative tone. But there are some really great things about meeting friends in uni. Like some of my best friends, some of my closest friends that I chat to every single day, I met at uni. I didn't know them from before, I didn't meet them from before, I met them in uni. And some of them I didn't even meet in first year, I met in my final year. And I did 4 years in uni, did television and broadcasting, if you didn't know, okay? But a lot of them I met in uni, and I'm really good friends with them, and I'm really close to them, we speak all the time and all that kind of stuff. But it's a lot harder to maintain relationships when you leave uni, and here is why. When you're in uni, you live close to everything, you live close to everyone, especially the University of Portsmouth. People say that it's like a 7-minute city, because everywhere you go should probably take you no longer than 7 minutes. It's a really small place, so everything is in place. Like to go to your friend's house probably take you about 5 minutes to walk it, maybe even 20 minutes, depends, but either way it's really not long compared to London where you've got Essex, you've got east, south, west, north. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So yeah, it's like a 7-minute city, right? And if you're used to being able to just wake up in the morning and go to your friend's house without worrying about paying for transport, without worrying about what time you're getting back, because it's 5 minutes down the road, why am I worried about what time I'm getting home? Like, it doesn't make no sense. If you're used to that, coming back home is going to be a big shock to you, especially if you don't drive. Because if you're in a situation like me where you're broke, you're applying for a job, you're waiting for jobs to get back to you, companies use hope to get back to you. You're applying for a job, you're broke, you're in the creative industry, so a lot of your money is being spent on your craft, it's been spent on investing in what you want to do, or what it is that you already do, or like say you need to look after your family, or whatever your situation is, I don't know. If you're in that position and you've now got friends that live 2 hours away from you, 1.5 hours away from you, 6 hours away from you, how are you going to maintain these friendships? There's only so many FaceTime calls I can do. There's only so many Snapchat texts I can do. There's only so many Zoom calls I can do. There's only so many times I want to go on a house party. How do you maintain these friendships? Like, it's not easy. It's not easy. And yes, it tests the strength in your friendship. Yes, it tests the strength in your relationship as friends. Yes, it does. Yes, it does. But listen, it's hard. It is so hard to maintain these relationships, especially now during this bloody pandemic where you can't go anywhere. You don't really want to be using transportation because you don't know who's been coughing all up these seats. You don't know, yeah? If you're someone like me, I don't want to take transport. So it's like, how do you maintain these friendships? And it's really sad, because if you don't create a strong bond with these people, or you don't explain to people your situation, or if you're not in constant communication, your friendships will suffer. And it's so sad. If you're someone who's really introverted, like you just don't like messaging people, like if you're just someone who just can't travel, like you're in a position where you actually can't travel, it's really sad, because maintaining relationships are really difficult. Even if you're in like a sexual relationship, like you have a boyfriend or you have a girlfriend or whatever your situation, it's really hard to maintain that if you don't see each other often, if you live really far away, because where you went from living with each other or being in the same accommodation in uni where you stay together all the time, and now you find that one of you lives in South London and the other one is living in Manchester, what do you do? Listen, guys, think carefully about the decisions you make. That's all I'm going to say. Think carefully, because if you don't drive, it's going to be a myth. And yeah, luckily for me, everything for me is not that far. My friends definitely live really far, so it's harder to see them, and because of the lack of Skrilla I have right now, it's not the easiest to go to them to see them. But definitely make up for it in other ways, like do loads of FaceTime calls, do games nights with them on the phone, do Netflix dates with your friends on the phone. Obviously for guys, I'm pretty sure you're not going to do dates with your man then, but for girls, do like Netflix dates with them on the phone. Just do little things to let them know you're thinking of them, or they're thinking of you, and just so that you ensure them that you haven't forgotten about them. Like, they're not just someone you was close with in uni and that's basically it, if that is something that you want to maintain in the long run, you know? So yeah, friendships, guys, yeah, it's hard. The next thing that I have learned since coming back from university is that living at home will never be the same. It's never gonna be the same. Guys, things that weren't an issue for me before I went have now become an issue. They have now become an issue. And I'll give you the perfect example. Food, kitchen, the whole shebang. Picture it in your mind. Before I went to uni, I was used to eating the meals that my mum has cooked, the meals my mum has given me, the meals that get the belly right. You know what I'm saying? They feed the belly real good. You feel me? I was used to all of that. But obviously, going to uni, I was able to expand my palate. So certain things that I wasn't able to cook at home, I'm now able to cook in my accommodation because of the cost, or maybe because I just fancy it. Like, there's a lot of things that I like eating that my family don't like eating. There's a lot of things that my family like eating that I despise and I would never put in my mouth. Like, vice versa. So when you go to uni, you almost develop a system that is right for you. You develop a system that goes with the type of person you are, how organized you are, the type of palate you want to eat, the type of food you want to buy. Like, you have your own regime, your own system, your own way of doing things, because it's just you. And this is why, like, in one way, I always recommend that people do go to uni, because it really allows you to put into practice the type of person you want to be in the future. So, like, for example, if you want to practice being a vegetarian, but you know at home all of your family eat meat, going to uni, because you're by yourself, you have your own kitchen, you can put that into practice, so you can test it out to see whether if being a vegetarian is actually right for you. So I always recommend in that sense, if you're trying to find yourself, uni is definitely an amazing place to go to find yourself, because everything you want to do that you can't necessarily do at home, you can definitely do over there. Do you get what I'm saying? However, when you come back home, this is where the problem lies, because if you're used to eating vegetarian food in uni and now you've come back home where everybody's eating steak, chicken, ribs, okay, everybody's eating prawns, the whole shebang, it's gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult because they're not gonna buy food just for you alone, let's be real. Especially if you've got an African parent like me. There's no way in hell they're gonna do £80 shopping or however much it is they spend on themselves, and then they now have to think about you and your additional costs on top. It's just not gonna work. It's not gonna work. Things like being a creative. My brother's a sound engineer, if you didn't know, for example. I'll have a link to his Instagram down below. He's a sound engineer. He specializes in like 90s R&B music, and those type of things. So if you're interested in that, link down below, check him out. Okay, he be making beats all the time. Like, the house will be rocking, vibrating. Whole dynamic in my house is just crazy, because I'm over here trying to edit and film a video, but he's got music blasted in the background, which is disturbing my video. So now I have to refilm the video to cut out the music. But then it cuts away from him being creative now, because he needs the music to be at a certain level or a certain level of loudness in order for him to hear the decibels and the different things that go on in the music, right? But that is something that you can easily do when you're at uni, because you have your own space and you're able to do those things. You can stay up until 5 in the morning. It's nobody's business, and you can practice doing your music however it is you want to do it and for however long you want to do it. But then coming back home, you can't do that. You don't have those same luxuries, because guess what? If you've got a family that's working from home 9 to 6 and you're trying to play loud music and they're on a Zoom call with their manager, how the hell do you do that? You're having to be considerate of the fact they're working, which means it's going to slow your progression, it's going to stop you putting out music, and it's going to stop your creative flow from just coming out, because you're having to keep it in to compensate for what it is they're doing. So yeah, I'm telling you guys, things that weren't a problem are going to become a problem now. Even little things like, for example, like, yeah, being in the kitchen, like I said earlier, you might be used to having your kitchen a certain way, like the layout being a certain way, keeping it to a certain level of being tidy, for example. Like, I know some of you guys have OCD, you know what I'm saying? Like, you like to have things in a certain way, and now you come back home, you might find that you've got like a parent that's organized messy, or messy organized, however you say it. Like, my mom is definitely messy organized. She'll organize stuff, then she'll make it messy, but only she knows within the mess where everything is. But then if I try to organize it to a T, she's gonna get angry at me because I've ruined her pile, but it was a pile of mess. Do you get what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're like OCD and you've got a parent or a sibling or whatever that is the complete opposite, they're very messy, it's gonna be hard for you, because you're gonna be butting heads all the time. And that is the case with me. When I first came home from uni, guys, the amount of beef I had with my brother, the amount of arguments I had with my dad, listen, I had so many arguments because I'm trying to shape this house into how I want it to be based off of the type of life that I've lived going to uni. But it took me a long time to realize and to respect that you can't come home and you can't change a dynamic or a system that's been there for years. You can't do that. So even though I have gone to uni, I've learned about this technology, whatever, this new frying pan, this new Dyson blow dryer, whatever, my parents are not interested in that, because they're used to their house being a certain way. So just because I'm used to my life being a certain way doesn't mean that I need to now forcefully change your life to make it better for me, because I'm coming back to your situation. You're not coming into mine. If you come into my flat, that's a different thing, but I'm going back to your house. So I can't now come home and try and change everything, because it doesn't work that way. So yeah, guys, please be prepared for that, okay? Things that weren't a problem before you went are gonna become a problem now, 100%. Coming back home from uni has also taught me that I need to move out. I need to get out of here. Listen, I need to move out. Now this point is basically linked to the last one I did and the first one I did, okay? I need to move out. Before I went to uni, I already knew in my mind that one, my room is too small. Okay, I have a really small room. I just about have enough space to fit me in here, let alone all the stuff that is in here with me, okay? Even buying clothes, shoes, everything. I'm very skeptical about it because I have nowhere to put them. That's how real it is, okay? So that's just one example. Before I went to uni, I already knew my situation. I already knew my room is small. I knew that I don't get much privacy. I just knew that I wanted to get out. Like I always knew I wanted to get out. But going to uni has definitely given me the motivation to want to get out even more, and this is why. If you've lived by yourself and you're used to your own freedom or your own independence, and now you've come back home and you're butting heads with your family, you find that where you live isn't suitable for your career. So for example, if you're someone who's from Liverpool and you know your work is in London, you have to get out, because that journey is going to be very expensive for one. You know, traveling back and forth just to go to work and to come home. It's going to be a chance you're not going to be able to make it to work on time, or you might be having delays, or whatever your case may be. It really shows you that you need to get out. Now, I can't say this for everybody, because you do have those kids that have those really nice houses, and it doesn't even have to be a nice house, whatever, but you have those kids that are comfortable at home anyway. They might have a house that is just so beautiful, they just don't want to move. Like, they don't want to move. They have a really nice house. Like, I remember when I went to uni, kids were telling me they had fireplaces in their room, and I'm sitting here thinking, you got a fireplace? I wish. I'm having to use a whole electric heater just to keep my toes warm. Then you have other kids that are like, oh, I have horses in my back garden, and I'm thinking, that's nice, I get foxes in mine. Listen, like, I'm telling you, like, you have those people that are just so comfortable in their situation that getting out for them is just not a thing. They don't need to worry about that. But then you have kids, on the other hand, that don't come from that type of situation, to where it's like, yo, I need to get out of here. Like, I need to move. I need to get out of the ghetto. You know what I'm saying? Now you've gone to uni and you've had time by yourself. You've had space for yourself. You've learned a lot about yourself, which is my next point, self-development, but we'll get into that. And now you've come back home and essentially most of your freedom is taken away from you. Obviously you have those lenient parents that let you go out whenever you want, let you come back whenever you want. They don't really ask you much questions. Like, they just give you complete freedom, right? You have those kids, but then you also have kids on the other hand that don't have that freedom. They have a curfew, there's always a phone call whenever they go out, they need to text their parents when they come back, like all them little things there. So it's like, if you've now come back from complete freedom to now going back to this, it's gonna make you want to leave your house even more. Where you're in a situation where a lot of kids like to smoke weed these days, and so you have the freedom and you're just bunning all the time. Now you go home, you can't do that anymore. You can't do it in your mum's house, and you don't want her to know you're doing it. It's gonna make you feel like you want to get out even more. And this is real life shit, I'm telling you. The amount of people I've seen in uni that do things that they would never do in their parents' house. They date people that they know their parents would never accept. They smoke weed knowing that their parents will never accept it. They drink knowing their parents will probably never accept it. They're in a relationship, sexual one, knowing their parents are never going to accept it. Or they won't allow your partner to stay over at your house because to them it's unethical, it's just not what you do. There's a lot of traditional parents that are like that. And it's hard, it's tough, it's so tough. Like, it's difficult. And obviously again with this whole pandemic, you can't do niche. You can't do niche. And if you're looking for a job and you're applying for a job and you're not getting any replies, it makes it even harder. But guys, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. 9 times out of 10, no matter how stressful it is being at home with your family, like I said, that's not the case for everybody. Some people go home and dynamics never even change. Like they've just come back home, and the way it is at home is as if they never left. Like it's the same, like family's the same, like everything is Gucci. Stay at home, get your coins, save your money, and then go. If it means you have to stick it out for like another 2 years, then so be it. Just appreciate it. And I'm not saying it where it's like, oh, just appreciate your parents. My mum knows someone whose daughter went to uni and she experienced the same thing. She came home, she hated it, and she forced herself to move out. And guys, 6 months later, she ended up coming back home. She moved back home. And that will never be me. There's no way I'm gonna make this whole announcement that I'm moving out just for me to come home. That's an embarrassment. First of all, hell no. Like, if I make that decision to move, I'm not coming back. The only time I'm coming back to my crib is if I'm picking up something, I'm coming to visit my family. But do you think I can move out to then move back in? There's no way. I don't even think I am. There's no way. But this is what I'm saying. You gotta be making these smart decisions. Like, yeah, I know it's hard sometimes. I've been there. I'm still going through it, okay? I know it's hard, but you just have to see it from your parents' perspective and try to understand why. And at the end of the day, your parents love you and they just want the best for you. So, okay, so the last point I'm gonna make, and I'm gonna make this point really quick because I need to go. Self-development. You are gonna learn a lot about yourself going to uni and coming back from uni. You're going to learn a lot about yourself. I have had so many nights where I've been depressed and I didn't know why. I've been suffering with severe anxiety and I didn't know why. I was very confused about what I want. Did I pick the right course? I have a degree now, but what the hell am I doing with it? Listen, even being in uni, am I chilling with the right people? Why is this so hard? I'm missing my family, but I don't want to be with my family. I like my freedom. This. Like your brain, there's so much going on all the time that it forces you to confront your demons. It does. It forces you to confront your demons. It forces you to confront your thoughts. Like it really forces you to confront your thoughts. You're gonna do so much self-development in uni, especially coming back home from uni. It's disgusting. When I came home, I didn't realize my family situation. I didn't really realize or understand why my parents were always arguing about money, for example, because things are so expensive. But I didn't realize that because growing up, I'm not exactly going to be asking my parents hella questions about their finance, because one, it's rude, and second of all, they're not going to tell me anyways. I'm not going to ask you. But I didn't really appreciate how much time they spent working. I used to get really mad at my parents because I felt like they never really spent time with me or my brother, but that's because a lot of the time they spent their time working to build a future for us. Do you get what I'm saying? And obviously because I was young and I didn't quite understand it, I had a lot of resentment towards my family because I felt like they didn't care about me, etc. You know how when you're young you feel like nobody cares about you. I felt like they didn't care about me. It's only growing up, going to uni, having to experiencing how much money goes out, where it goes to, how much bills cost, living by yourself, mortgages, blah blah blah, all these things I wasn't exposed to before. Now all of a sudden I'm getting it shoved in my face, and it's not like I have a tutorial on how to do it. I'm learning on the job. And now that I've come home and I've had this time to process things, I've had this time to do a lot of self-development, I've had this time to do a lot of self-reflection, I've had this time to do a lot of appreciation, I've had this time to evaluate a lot of things in my life that I'd never had to evaluate before. Now I've come back home, I appreciate how much my parents were working because I understand how hard it is right now. Like I get why it was so difficult. I get why money was a big issue. Money was not an issue like that, but there was always arguments about it because, you know, when you're trying to be cost efficient but then you want to have a life on top of it, it can cause problems because you got to compromise. Like, okay, you do this and then I'll do this, or you do this and then I'll do this. But I never realized it. It's only going to uni and learning a lot about myself, what type of woman I want to be, the direction that I want to go, what type of job I want to have, what type of friends I want to hang around with, because I don't want to hang around with friends that are whatless anymore. Not saying I did, but I don't want to hang around with friends that are just going to message me to be like, let's go Westfield and we're doing absolute niche. I'm trying to find like adult friends in industry, even if you're not in industry, but adult friends that I can comfortably say you're going to be godmother to my child or godfather to my child. Those are the type of relationships I'm trying to build now that I'm a lot older, now that I've had time to reflect who I want to be and who I want in my circle. And I don't think I would have done that if I was at home, because I'm with my family. There's so much going on in the house all the time. I'm constantly working, I'm constantly doing other things. And so, you know, like when you're extremely busy, you don't have time to process things. You don't have time to just think. You don't have time to just sit down and look in the mirror and say to yourself, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what am I actually doing? That's what I did. And because of that, I have more of a clearer mind of the type of person I want to be, like I said, the type of friend that I want to be, how I can be a better friend to other people, how the type of person I want to be in terms of receiving things from people, because I'm quite standoffish, but now I'm learning to appreciate other things that people do for me as opposed to not being able to appreciate before. Just little things like that, but you really learn a lot about yourself. So yeah, self-development is really important, I'm not gonna lie to you. But that is it, you guys. Those are all the things that I learned coming back from university. Of course, there are so many other things. I could talk about it for time, but I have to get out of here. I got an appointment to go to, okay? But those are 5 additional things that I learned coming back from uni. I hope this video helps you and that it kind of motivates you and inspires you to just be the best person you can be and the best version of yourself. And always try to look at things from the other person's perspective, because when we're caught up in a situation, it's so easy for us to just think about it from our point of view, because we're so standoffish, we believe we're right. But you have to be able, if you're mature and if you're grown, you have to be able to take a step back sometimes and look at it from the other person's perspective and try to understand why it is they think this way, or why it is they're moving the way they're moving, because it's not always about you. You never know what they're going through, hence why they've reacted that way. You get what I'm saying? So I hope this video was able to help you guys. If it did, make sure you give it a like, make sure you thumbs up and subscribe down below and click the bell so every time I upload a video you guys will be notified. If you have any more uni questions or any video requests about uni, leave them down below so I can be sure to answer them. And if I get a lot of likes on that question or whatever, I'll make a video about it. I do want to finish off my university series on my channel. I have a bunch of uni videos, so if you are someone that's new to my channel, check out my uni playlist and you can see all the stuff about uni there. But I do want to finish the segment, so if there are any questions you have about uni, let me know now so I can film those videos and then I can help you guys officially with uni. There's so many other videos I'm going to film as well, but if there's anything you want me to film in particular, let me know. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video and I'll catch you in my next one. Mwah! Bye!